Hi guys, and welcome back. Today is a very exciting day. It is the day that my tarot deck Kickstarter launches. In fact, if you're watching this the moment this video goes live, then that is exactly when my Kickstarter goes live. So there is a link down in the description that'll take you over to the campaign. If you're on the computer, you can pop up another tab and check that out while we're chatting and going through this painting. But yeah, again, the link is down in the description. I am so beyond thrilled to be at this point where I can put it out for you guys and hopefully get it funded so that we can get this printed and sent off all around the world. But yes, we will be talking a bit about the deck and about the painting that I'm working on today. So yeah, let's get started. So just a few quick notes about the deck if you're curious. The deck is a full deck, so I get that question a lot. Yes, it's going to have all 78 cards. All of the cards will be in the deck. It'll be full. It has the major and the minor arcana. If you want to get a feel for what the minors look like, you can go over to the campaign and check them out. I also have some of them shown over on Patreon. So yes, so I've got all of those. It is being shipped internationally. So if you live outside of the US, you can back the Kickstarter as well. And what else is there? Oh, we have one big stretch goal. I think that I'm including a few smaller ones. I can't remember at this point if I decided or not, but there is one big one, and that's to get gilded edges on all of the decks. So if you can help us get to that point, that would be absolutely amazing, because then the decks would just be so incredibly luxe and beautiful. They're going to be beautiful anyways, but this would just really put it over the edge. So that stretch goal is going to be 35,000. So if we can reach that point, then all of the decks will be able to have gold gilded edges. It'll just be so pretty. But anyways, those are kind of the quick points. But yeah, this deck, this project has been kind of a game changer in a lot of ways for me. It's been really educational for me, learning about myself and also what I want to be doing going into the future. And a lot of that stuff I can talk about more in the future. But I just want to say that this was a really amazing experience to be able to work on something of this scope and this much importance. It was special. It was a truly special time in my life. And now that we're at the end, the culmination of the creation side of it, it just feels so satisfying to be able to show it to you guys and put it out there. So this painting that I'm working on right now, it's actually a revisitation of the character in the death card from the tarot deck. So I did a few smaller portrait paintings of some of the other characters that are also available through the Kickstarter. So if you wanted a smaller original that goes along with the decks, those are part of the campaign, so you can go check those out. This one is going to be the top tier over on the Kickstarter, so if you'd like to get this original painting and you want the tarot deck and all the other goodies, then yeah, go over to the campaign and check it out. So that was my trajectory for starting this painting, was that I got to get to know this character a little bit more. I want to do that more in the future anyways, as a side note, revisit characters that I painted in the past and explore them a little bit more. So that will be really fun. But I knew that I wanted him to be in a different pose and interacting with the crow that's in the card in a different way. And this was a great opportunity to do that, to do a different type of composition. The figure itself is very similar to compositions that I've done in the past, which I love. It feels familiar to me in that way. But by having this like big icon of a bird that's taking up a lot of the composition in front of him, it really breaks it up, and it's something truly unique from what I've done in the past. So that was also a really fun experiment to work in a new kind of compositional break like that. So the death card was it really was right at the top of my favorite cards to work on. I left him till the very last one because I knew that it was going to be one that I would love to get to work on. So I let myself burn through most of the deck, really just put in all that effort and time, and then I gave myself that little treat at the end so that I could visit something that I was really excited about. So this one is still really fresh in my mind. I just recently finished it a couple of weeks ago, I think, but yeah, it was fun to then switch over and create him in a different medium into watercolors, because after working so long on this digital deck, it really did make me realize how much I truly love working traditionally. There's just something, for me personally, this isn't a critique on digital art in any means, or creating digital art. It's still really close to my heart, but I've found that the creation, the process of making the artwork, I find so much more enjoyable when I'm working traditionally, when I can just get my hands dirty and get some paint out and see where the medium takes me. It was really very, very refreshing to get back to a nice big watercolor painting after a lot of digital work. I found somewhat recently that I actually really, really love granulating textured watercolors. I had avoided it for years because they're very difficult to glaze with often, I should say. A lot of granulating paints just don't really do well with layering lots of paint on top. And that's how I like to work for a lot of the elements that I paint. But I've been having a bit of a realization that there are areas that I can continue working the way that I have been, and that's using really clean, flat watercolors and layering them a lot to get the final effect. So like with skin. And then there's areas that I can really just let loose and enjoy the medium and let it play and let me play with it. And areas like the background and this character's cloak, those were places that I could just have a lot of fun with. So that really did make this painting feel like a giant exploration, a love letter to my newfound joy in using really granulating paints. So I had a lot of fun pulling them out and doing lots of tests. I had lots of scraps of paper next to me. I was really playing with a lot of different mixtures of paint. I also ended up using several cups of paint so that I could mix up a big wash that I could work with as I was working on these really large areas. I found that is kind of a game changer for me for when I'm working larger, is to actually just get like a little bowl or a little cup and fill it with the paint mixture that I'm working with and make a ton of it. When I feel like I'm about to run out of paint of that mixture, it is so stressful and unpleasant. But if I have plenty there, then it allows me to just get lost in the process of painting it. It lets me put down a lot of that watercolor so it stays really wet and I can get good coverage, and it makes it feel a lot more in my control as I'm working on it. So I highly recommend that if you want to work larger and you've been struggling with it, get cups of the mixture that you're working with and just mix a ton of it and have it ready for you. That was very helpful. I actually just put saran wrap on top of the different cups of paint and they stayed wet overnight. They were the same mixture and I could revisit areas in the background. So there was so much that just I was able to let loose and really enjoy with this painting, and I felt so free working on it. And then I had an area that was probably the most tedious step I've had in a painting in a really, really long time. It was a lot. So when I got to the crow, and it is a crow, by the way, it's a pink crow, but I wanted to go really light with the line work. I love doing that digitally. I love doing that with my watercolors now that I've started using gouache for the line work because it's opaque. I did not realize how not truly opaque white is until I was working at this scale. So if you don't know, white can often be difficult to get truly opaque, especially with the acrylic gouache that I use. So at a smaller scale, when I'm working on like a little face or a head that's a couple inches large, it allows me to really condense the paint. I can spend a lot of time on each brush stroke and get it really even and smooth. But this crow was so large with such long brush strokes. It took several layers to get it to get opaque enough for my liking, to cover that pencil line underneath and to clean up the edges. And it took a really, really, really long time. It probably took me like 3 times as long as I thought it would to get all that line work done, but I'm very happy with the end result. It was a lesson learned that if I do something at that scale again, I might need to, I don't know. Honestly, I probably just need to accept that it's worth the effort and the time. But next time I go into something like that, I can be a little bit more prepared. But I think that's about it for today. So another reminder, the Kickstarter for my Lunar Lost Tarot deck is live right now. And I am so grateful for everybody who has expressed support for it or has shown support already or maybe has already backed it at this point. I really can't thank you enough for that. I'm so grateful for everyone's support and coming along on this journey with me. It means a lot to me. So thank you. Yeah, that link is down below. It'll take you over there. And again, we're aiming for that big goal, the big Gilded Edges goal. Well, first, hopefully we'll get it funded. That's the biggest big goal, is to get it funded so we can get this deck printed, and then we're going to shoot for the Gilded Edges. Again, there might be some other stretch goals before that. If you want to check out the Kickstarter, you can see if I added any more, but yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for what this means. It's been a long time coming, and I'm just so ready to put this deck out into the world. So thank you guys. Thank you everyone. Thank you all of my patrons over on Patreon. You guys helped me actually make this deck. So beginning this month, I will be working on something new for my patrons for the physical rewards. So that is going to be a really exciting thing and a new thing to focus on. But yes, that Kickstarter link is down below. I'm really excited about it, so thank you. But that's it for today. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next week, and bye for now.